Real Estate Rockstars, this is Aaron Amuchastegui. Hey, you've probably heard about the Mastermind that we hosted in Austin over the last 4 years for all of our podcast listeners. And this last March, we had a fantastic time, a bunch of amazing speakers, and great fellowship. Well, I wanted to take some of those speaker talks that we had and release them to you guys here on the podcast so you can get the value that our members got when they were there, and also make you think about maybe joining us next year. So we've just released the dates for next year. It's February 25th through 27th, and we're only selling tickets for the next 30 or 40 days, and then we're going to lock down the orders, and so we can start, sending out the value ads for all of that. And if you end up joining the podcast Mastermind, if you end up signing for the Mastermind, you get to become a part of our private Facebook group, our private Circle app, all sorts of referrals between different people. And then you'll also get recordings, all the recordings for the past several years of Masterminds that we've had. But, just so you can hear a little bit more about kind of what you missed, get some added value just for being a listener, because I appreciate all of you guys that are here. Here is one of the clips of that, or here's one of the, 45-minute talks. I hope you guys love it.
Off the fly, so it's going to go really well or really bad. I will say one of the tools, and the moment I saw Caitlin, she's like, hey, you weren't here last year. I presented last year, and I still use one of the tools that you shared to this day, and she absolutely loves it. So it's good to know that people actually implemented some of the resources that I shared. So I don't even know what's on here. Let's go through it. All right, this is the end. Well, I will be brief, and this is a few years old, so it might not be exactly the same. For example, one that I don't use anymore, it's Homebot. There's a bunch of new similar solutions to that. So anywho, a few years ago, Aaron was kind enough to ask me to present, so I did. And back then I shared about some softwares and some tools that I use in my business that I really enjoyed, and I felt other people would too. So some of this might be a little bit dated. And again, I've not seen this in a little bit. But as it relates to tech, like there's some things that are out there that are really confusing. There was a gentleman earlier who mentioned Follow Up Boss and how confusing it can be. And I agree, like as much as I love Follow Up Boss, I know that there's a lot of people that need help with it. So my goal was just to share some really, really simple things that I use and enjoy and I think weren't that, tech challenging. So we had RealScout #1, Homebot, Client Giant, which is probably my favorite of all of these, and Highnote. So I'll quickly go through my presentation. So the first one is RealScout, and RealScout is still out there. I think all of these are actually. So RealScout I still use to this day. RealScout is really good to engage your buyers. So RealScout now has evolved. So back then, RealScout was basically, it was a more personalized way, and it remains a more personalized way to send listings automatically to your buyers. So once you dial in kind of what they're looking for, what zip code they're looking in, rather than them getting information from Redfin or Zillow and that being the source from who they get information from, RealScout does that for you. But what I like about RealScout is that there's a little bit of AI involved, and so the messaging doesn't look super robotic. It'll input the client's name, so it'll be like, hey, Aaron, I saw this listing. It kind of matches what you said you were looking for. What do you think? So it's like automatically nurturing some of your buyer relationships. And I had some screenshots of and this is like 3 years old. So you can see when people are opening up your emails. So this is really cool because you can see to what degree your buyer clients are engaged. So this person, Brandon, I remember him vividly, ended up not moving, but you can see how many times they looked at an email. So if like one listing comes their way and they've looked at it 3-4 times in the same day, they probably have a good amount of interest. Or conversely, some of those buyers that you haven't talked to in a long time, like this Manju person, we met at an open house, lost touch over time. But a lot of us, I think, and back to Bill's point, right? Where's Bill? Soul. Bill's like, get on the phone and talk to people, right? And a lot of times we feel like maybe we just don't have anything useful to say. So imagine Frederick at the very bottom being a person that I haven't spoken to in a long time, but he opens up this email. Well, now I have a reason to call him. Hey, Fred, it's me, Ernesto. Haven't talked to you in a bit. I saw that you looked at this listing in Antioch. How are things going? Did you have any questions on it? Is there any interest in it? So it's really good for determining like to what degree somebody is maybe motivated or engaged. But secondly, a really good way to just pick up the phone and say, hey, Fred, I saw that you're looking at some listings I'm sending you. Let's have a conversation about that. So solves multiple problems. So look at the verbiage. Hey, Brandon, here's a listing that meets your needs. So it's not like, and it mixes up the messaging. So it looks a little bit more conversational. And so people think that you're sitting at your computer, writing up these emails, sending them to the inbox, and that's actually not the case. Since then, RealScout has evolved into doing a lot more. So now they have their own version of Homebot. They offer that service where if you have a listing client who wants to know, well, actually not a listing client, a existing homeowner, like you've already got them into a home and you just want to send them equity updates over time. So it'll do that as well. So since then, and again, Aaron surprised me. I didn't know he was going to pull this up. RealScout does a lot more. But as you can see so far, you can see to what degree your current clients are really curious about particular homes. It's an easy talking point to talk to people that you haven't spoken to in a long time. You can see how natural kind of the messaging is. It doesn't feel robotic. And now it does a lot more like home valuations. So that's RealScout. RealScout once upon a time didn't naturally integrate with Follow Up Boss, and then they did. So rather than having to log into Follow Up Boss first, your CRM, and then separately logging into RealScout to check the activity there, now you can just log into Follow Up Boss in one portal. You can see who is engaging recently, which I really, really like. So that was RealScout. And again, this is 2 years old. It does a lot more now, but that is RealScout. RealScout and other providers now have basically replaced Homebot. A person that also used Homebot is Matt, Sarah's husband, who I think also stepped out. So Homebot once upon a time was like the leader in automated home valuations. So if you had buyers that you got into their home and you just want to get, set them up on something that would provide them an automated kind of AI generated home valuation, it was a good way for you to also see, hey, who's opening up those emails? The idea being, if these folks were constantly looking at how much their home is worth, then they might start thinking about relocating. So a couple years ago, Homebot was the big player in the space. Now that there's a lot of other providers that do it, you might find something like an all-in-one solution like RealScout. But this was a look back at what Homebot did. And again, so much has changed as far as technology goes in the last couple of years. But basically, sellers are getting a once-a-month automatic update from you as to what their home is worth. Also a good talking point. Really, really easy way for you to have a reason to get on the phone and have that conversation with them. This was also great to partner with your lenders. And I know that this is, so you could partner with your lender. And so the lender can basically cover the cost of Homebot. The way it works is basically there's tiers depending on how many homes you have or how many people you have loaded in your database to send these alerts to. It's a really good way to partner with your lender. The lender could cover the fee, and so that's like co-branded. So if you as an agent yourself didn't want to pay for it, or if you as a lender want to add value to your agents, hey, I want to help you get more business, let me cover this $40 expense, this $80 expense. It was basically co-branded when that message hit their inbox. But again, 2 years ago, Homebot was the big player in the automated home valuation kind of space. And now there's so many other options that will do the same thing. You can check your open rates. You can look at how many times people are looking at particular, their emails over and over again. This is probably my favorite. People still come up to me like, oh my God, Ernesto, I'm so glad you shared Homebot with our Client Giant with me. This is automated gifting. And this is my favorite. I love things that are automatic, that feel personal, and that are not expensive. I was talking to Caitlin. Caitlin does another one called Lolo, and it's a way for her to message people in her database. It's really cheap, and they get like local deals, and they're actually good. And it looks like it came from you, costs her like $1 a month. It's good exposure for local businesses, but it's an easy, automatic way for her to stay top of mind. And this is the same thing. So Client Giant, there's different packages. There's 2 different tiers. You can also do specifically just a birthday. So somebody else mentioned Follow Up Boss and birthdays and how do I keep track of that stuff. He stepped out as well. Man, I am. Everyone I was gonna call and stepped out. Client Giant is amazing. I really, really love it. And I still use it to this day, and I keep adding people to it. So it's $100 per year. And clients get a gift every quarter. So yes, every quarter. So they're getting multiple gifts from you. It's $100 per year, including like shipping. It's so cheap. But the way that it's packaged too, it's not like an Amazon box. Like the way they package it, it makes it look like it came from you. There's a note that is also like it looks like it came from you. And so it feels very personal. So for me, it's an easy way for me, and I do care about these people. I just don't have time every quarter to go out and shop and bundle things up and put them in the mail. Like I just don't. And they pick out really thoughtful things. So these are the different tiers you can get. They may have evolved since 2 years ago, but there's like the entry level one, right? It's like, it's $100 a year. There's a more premium one. You could do just birthdays. You can even, as you're going through an escrow, they get multiple gifts throughout the evolution of the escrow, which is, sometimes your closing is 2 weeks, sometimes it's 30 days. So that can get a little weird, but they get like moving boxes and stuff along that escrow journey. So it's automated. Again, big fan. And so see, these are some of the messages that I get and why I don't cancel it. So the top left is a screenshot. Oh, I got a funny story that now has evolved from this. Okay, so did you send me the question game? I missed the card in the box. Thank you so much. I love these kinds of games. You are one of my favorite friends. I appreciate and love you. Take care and be safe. This was my old neighbor. Her name coincidentally is Karen. And I love Karen, but as a neighbor, she was very much a Karen. She hired me to list her home, almost fires me halfway through the transaction because that was my first listing and the contractors were messing up, so she was getting really frustrated. So this person tried to fire me. And long story short, kind of put that fire out and everything was fine. Now, Karen never married, Karen never had kids. So she feels very alone in this world. So when I get these messages from her, and I still get them to this day, like from a person who didn't really know me, hired me, tried to fire me to get these messages, like they feel cared for by you, which is why I absolutely love Client Giant. This little guy in the bottom left, his name is, God, I'm drawing a blank, Tommy. Since this photo, I was referred to his parents and they wanted to buy a house. They had been through 7 realtors, or I was number 7. They'd been passed around a lot. And I think part of the reason why it was is because they were, based on their budget, they were looking in a very, very tough part of Oakland. They were looking in East Oakland. And I think a lot of other agents didn't want to show homes in the neighborhood. It's like really, really, really rough area. So I met them. I could feel the tension from the mom. She pretty much hates realtors. She thinks we all suck. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't think these people want anyone to help them, quite frankly, but I'm just gonna go with it and see what happens. Anyway, long story short, and why this is kind of cool, I think partly because of these gifts, they invite me to his birthdays. I never knew these people in my life. I met them like 3 years ago. His parents have now asked me to be his godfather in his baptism. So thank you, Client Giant. I have another God kid I have to worry about. Yeah. So it's funny that this photo's up here. I wasn't expecting it, obviously. But yeah, people will tag you on social media. This is my sister-in-law who never ended up buying anything, unfortunately, but I still keep her on Client Giant. But like these people become your fans because they feel cared for. So for anyone who's like, what can I do to not spend a lot of money, but every few months my clients are getting things that look like they came from me, like I don't know, I can't think of anything better. Yes. Yeah, and think of all the industries. If you're a lender and you have an agent that sends you a lot of business, if you're a contractor, if you work in tech, you want to take care of your good clients, you want it done automatically with tasteful, high quality things, you can bump up to the premium one, which are even better gifts than this, but they get things like make your own candle kit. They get, it's just a bunch of random cool stuff. So this of all the tools, as far as like just maintaining relationships with people that you care about, Client Giant is invaluable. Lastly, Highnote. Again, AI has evolved so much since then, but Highnote basically what it allows you to do is it gives you there's a lot of benefits to it. So it gives you analytics for your emails that you send out. So you can see not only if they received it, yes or no, if they opened it, yes or no. It will also tell you what part of the email they're spending the most time in. So as a buyer, when representing buyers, I really like submitting your offers this way. As a listing agent, it is kind of frustrating to get like 9 PDFs and they're just like not even labeled. It's just 9 PDFs with a bunch of letters and numbers. And you're going through every single one, like what am I looking for? So just organizing the offer is a lot easier. So Highnote, the other thing that allows you to do is it allows you to build like landing pages. So if Sarah wanted to build like a portfolio of properties that she's renovated and build like a little website, you can do that. If you are a team leader and maybe you're wanting to attract agents to your team, you can build a landing page and have like different sections to it, like about us, benefits of joining our team, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the biggest teams in the Bay Area, and I haven't looked at their website in a long time, but Team Fast, the guy's like one of the biggest recruiters in all of EXP, Kenny Fast. I don't know if that rings a bell for anybody. Big time recruiter. His website for a long time, and I haven't just checked recently, it was www.jointeamfast.com. It's all a Highnote. So he's able to see like where people are spending time on his website. But as it relates to us as realtors, whether you are, really when I use it most is submitting offers on behalf of buyers, so I can see kind of what portion of the email is being looked at. But you can use it on the listing end, on the buyer's agent end as well. But it also kind of updates you, like when was this email opened? How much time did they spend on it? What portion of your message they spent the most time at? This is the website I was referring to. So he's got, and there's different media that you can attach here. So he's got, part of the website is just a link to another website. Part of the website is a PDF. Part of the website is a link to his Calendly. So there's different kind of uses that you have for it. So Kenny Fast, again, huge recruiter under EXP, he uses it as his landing page anytime anybody's interested in his organization. I don't know what this leads to anymore from 2 years ago. So these are all kind of different things that I discussed that day. Yeah.
Okay, so I know there's a couple of other agents that use the Client Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something you're using for every single client? Are you picking and choosing? How long are you leaving them on it?
It's really up to you. I've been using it for 3 years now. And I know when it's delivery day. Well, they'll email you like, hey, your gifts are getting ready to be delivered, but you're gonna get messages from people that are just super thankful and grateful for the gifts. So I've got a bunch of people on it, going back to about 3.5 years ago when I learned about it. But yeah, you can take people off if you decide, I never hear from this person, I don't actually have a relationship with this person. It's totally up to you.
Big fan of RealScout. I actually just moved to that last year.
RealScout?
And, and especially with a couple other features that they rolled out was you can add widgets to your website. So especially if you are more of an independent broker and you don't have something to dive into. And also you can project out and see what the potential demand is in a place, which is super helpful. But out of this, I'm a little curious about especially connecting things. This might be a little bit more technical, but I'm curious.
Which I'm not good at.
Do you usually have a lot of these have APIs to them, so that way you can kind of connect them a little bit more effectively?
You used to need Zapier to connect RealScout to Follow Up Boss, but now it's native. And back to your point with RealScout now also has the home valuations built in, so I've actually axed Homebot since then. So much has evolved in the last 2 years.
Can you connect Client Giant and the other Highnote?
I've not looked into Client Giant.
Okay.
Yeah, to see if it'll integrate or not. Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Charlie.
Charlie Brown with in San Francisco, Sister Market. Thanks for the presentation. It sounds like you're not using Homebot anymore. Are you only using RealScout because it has that automated? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other Homebot-like things that you've seen?
RealScout is probably the most common one. There was another one. I'm just drawing a blank on the name. There are others. There's so many out there now.
HomeIQ.
HomeIQ. Yeah, I heard of HomeIQ. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Ernesto.
Cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, Real Estate Rockstars. So hopefully you guys loved hearing one of our speakers from last month's Mastermind. If you are considering joining us for next year, now is the time to sign up. We're only going to have ticket sales for the next 30 to 45 days. And then after that, we cut it off so that way we can focus on providing value and not selling tickets. So for the event this next year, February 25th to 27th in Austin, Texas, if you're interested in getting a ticket, you can go to realestaterockstarsmastermind.com. And if you want to chat with me about anything, as always, come find me on Instagram at Aaron Amuchastegui. Thanks for listening.